I'd like to ask Mr. Edwin Tong, to introduce himself. He's a lawyer in private practice. Edwin.
Thank you, Minister. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Edwin Tong. I come from a family where I'm the eldest of 3 children. I'm a lawyer, I do litigation work, and I've been practicing at Allen & Gledhill for the past 17 years since I graduated from the National University of Singapore. I'm married to a lawyer as well, and we have 3 girls. There are various factors which have influenced my decision to step forward today as a candidate in the coming elections for the People's Action Party, and I'd like to share a few with you this afternoon. A few years ago, I was asked if I would like to help out at a Meet the People session. As a lawyer, I do a fair amount of pro bono work, so it's not entirely new to me, volunteer work. But I have never seen a Meet the People session. I have not been to one. So I went down to see for myself what it was all about. As a lawyer, I was quite naturally asked to handle most of the legal cases that came the way of the Meet the People session. But I also got an opportunity to see a range of other cases from many residents over a period of time. The experience was very much an eye-opener for me. I know that there are many Singaporeans from our community who come with different sets of needs. Some are more basic ones, like they come in and they ask for assistance to help get a housing loan or apply for a housing loan. And then there are others with more pressing, more basic needs. There are low-income families who could not afford utilities bills for months, and they had to make do without water or without electricity, and I know that they struggle to put food on the table sometimes. So these residents, they come and they see the MPs, and they come and see the volunteers to get solutions. Each week, week in, week out, what struck me was that there was a team of willing volunteers. The team was large, the team was huge. And they were on hand to assist the residents' problems, and they often took it on as if they were their own, and they tried their very best to solve these problems. It's all too easy to be dismissive or be cynical about the help that is being given at these sessions. But in my experience and through my time spent there, I could see that this was a system that worked, and that it worked well, and that important and meaningful contributions were being made by a set of tireless volunteers for the residents. Serious problems were solved, and I know and I could see for myself that the work of these volunteers helped to put many residents back onto their feet. As part of my volunteer work, I also took part in various social events organized at the grassroots level. I saw that these events brought a degree of social cohesion and bonding to the community. And I think that's important because in Singapore, we all live in a multicultural, multiracial society. And what happens within the small community affects the broader national interest. I believe many Singaporeans do have a sense of pride in our country. For myself, I recall that we celebrated tremendously as a country when our name popped out of the envelope as host country for the YOG. I still recall that a few years ago. And then, of course, again, we saw with pride the way we conducted ourselves during the opening and closing ceremonies. And going back a couple of years, we celebrated tremendously again when we won the World Table Tennis Championships in Moscow. And going back even several more years, the Malaysia Cup in '94, the last time we won it, I was there in Shah Alam at the stadium. And I remember that there was such a tremendous sense of pride and spirit amongst the Singaporeans who were there. I see the grassroots activities as helping to foster that spirit within the smaller community. It brings that community closer together. It helps to forge national identity and brings us closer together as a nation. My experiences at the MPS and at these grassroots events helped me to realize and see that significant and tangible improvements can be made to the lives of individual Singaporeans and to Singapore as a whole. And this is one main reason why I've chosen to step forward when I was asked. The second reason is this. I believe in the core values and key policies that have seen Singapore through on which Singapore's success has been built. But I strongly believe that we must not take them for granted. One of these values is that of meritocracy. I know it's been used, or this word has come up very often, but I've seen for myself firsthand how that has worked. When I was born in 1969, my family was at that time living in a 3-room flat in Mei Ling Street. They were working class employees. My mother was a school teacher. My father started as a junior clerk in a bank. A few years later, we moved to rented premises, this time along Telok Blangah Road. And for those of you who know Telok Blangah Road, we were along the main road, and we were at a place where the ground floor is now the Laksa Steamboat Restaurant, if you know that place. We were on the second floor, just above. So my parents continued to work hard. I had 2 other siblings. And with time, they went on to senior positions within their own profession. And they were able to see myself and my siblings through university. Eventually, we moved to a landed property. But I didn't see this as a product of who they were or what they were in society. Instead, they succeeded because of their own hard work and their own ability, and because the system was such that it would recognize and reward that hard work and ability. My view is that we have to keep that system where every Singaporean will have an equal opportunity to try and get success. I believe we have a duty to preserve these core values. Our policies cannot erode these core values, and we have to work in progress in the policies, and we have to be nimble and flexible to adapt these policies with time, to cater to a changing economy, to a changing population, and also to our younger generations. And we have to do that because if we don't, our younger generations might well see their future outside Singapore. So, when I was asked by the PAP if I would stand as a candidate for the party in this coming elections, I agreed. But as with most crucial decisions in my family, I consulted everyone in my family. My wife was wholeheartedly supportive. My children, well, they may be too young to fully understand the significance of that decision, but I hope that one day they too will see it in themselves to step forward and contribute to public service. On my part, I am confident that I can make an effective and tangible contribution to society. I want and I hope to be able to play a part in building Singapore's future for our future generation. I know that it's a tremendously challenging responsibility. I don't take it lightly, but at the same time, I'm humbled to be asked, and I want to say that I will do my very best, and I hope to have the support of my fellow Singaporeans. Thank you.